Money, 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 money. Money. Kevin,
Yes.
give us that big old space news.
So, a bunch of space news for this week. The first subject we'll go into is money.
Money.
So, specifically, one of the budgets, the appropriations bill, which funds NASA and a bunch of other federal agencies through the rest of the fiscal year that had started in October.
Yeah.
It just got passed. And it's a lot of good news for NASA. So, the total is $18 billion.
Wait, that's for the entire government.
No, just for the NASA appropriations bill.
Oh, that's just for NASA.
So
That's
18 billion is a nice number, especially because it is 530 million above the Obama administration's original request for the agency. It is also about $100 million above the House's original version of the bill earlier this year, and it is also 350 million above the version of this bill from last year.
Oh man. To borrow a colloquial saying from the kids, make it rain.
So
That's what NASA's gonna be doing.
it's pretty much increases over a large range of sub-agencies within NASA.
Right.
There have been some reductions. I know, like, one of the R&D sections had a bit of a reduction, but overall it's increases in a lot of places. For example, everyone has been worried about the Planetary Sciences Department, and they're getting an increase of 157 million.
Not surprised. I'm not surprised. Everyone loves planetary science.
Right. Now, one of the more interesting stories to come out of this is the fascination with a certain mission. Now, the president and NASA are all on board this asteroid redirect mission. So redirecting an asteroid to be near the moon, and we can send astronauts there and examine it.
We want to go back to the moon. We want to bring things near the moon. Duh, that makes sense, right?
So that is the idea that has been tossed around NASA for quite a bit.
Yeah.
And within the Obama administration.
Of course.
But the Republicans are huge fans of Jupiter's moon, Europa. And no one's quite sure why.
Why?
They just are. They just think it's cool. Which is cool, because it is an interesting place.
But why Europa? Why? It's so far away. Like, there's Mars, that's closer. There's
Now-
our moon. Why?
Now, the House is currently Republican-controlled. So the funding for a Europa mission, the White House's original request was just basically some seed money, $15 million, just to get the project started towards going to Europa in a mission called the Europa Clipper. The passed bill has $100 million instead of 15.
Oh, a nice $85 million increase.
So now they have this pile of money to
That's it.
send a probe to Europa.
They're going to put a pile of money on a probe and just they're going to put that $85 million on the probe and just send it to Europa. Why not? Just because. Well, it'll be the first bank of Europa.
Yes.
Problem solved. We'll solve all of our problems right there. Another interesting piece of space news, speaking of sending things to other places, namely moons of things, you viewer right now, you can send things to the moon. That's right. As a part of Google's Lunar X competition, Carnegie Mellon has teamed up with a sub-company of Carnegie Mellon University, which is called Astrobotic Technology. They are building a lunar rover called Andy, which will be able to bring your personal items up to the moon. Now, in particular, they're calling this moon mail. You can go to the link below. Yeah, you can. Yeah, until we get up to the moon ourselves. You can go to the link on the screen, or it's the link in the description. You can send personal items, non-volatile, so no radioactive materials or explosives, and you can do this by purchasing a capsule on their website, which you can get one. The smallest one is a half an inch. It's a hexagon, half an inch, and 1/8 inch high. So not a lot of space.
It's very small.
That's $460. You can get the largest one, which is 1 inch wide by 2 inches tall. So a lot of volume there. Yeah, a lot of space there. And that's $25,800. That's a huge increase.
Now, it's very expensive
Yeah.
to get stuff into space.
Yes.
So I'm not at all surprised, especially since they don't seem to have said anything about mass limitations. It's just whatever can fit inside the tube.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, so the plan is you can do this. They on their website they whoa shoot, sorry R2, go away R2. Specifically on their website, they mention like wedding bands and photos that you can send up there. If you go to their website, it's actually really cool because you can scroll down and it shows how it works.
Yeah. So if you want to send your wedding band up to the moon to celebrate your love, you can do that. If you want to send your wedding band up to the moon to get rid of it, you can do that.
Celebrate your divorce. You can do that too, America. But the key is, so they're hitching a ride on a SpaceX rocket, which they get a discount for because they're in the Google Lunar X competition.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, they will, once your stuff gets up there, if they win, they get to send this thing up there. And the rover has to go a mile on the surface of the moon for them to win this competition. Assuming that works, you also get a picture, a photo of your item on the moon sent back to you. So you get to see where it ended up and where that wedding ring or that tiny crumpled up photo, because I'm sure that's all you can fit into the small space, will end up on the surface of the moon. Maybe one day your ancestors can pick it up and be like, oh, look at this junk. But that's cool. I mean, that's interesting. I think it's an interesting idea.
Definitely an interesting idea. And following up on mentioning SpaceX, the next SpaceX resupply of the International Space Station should happen on as early as December 19th.
So Friday.
It may get delayed a little bit because SpaceX usually gets delayed somehow, weather or some reason.
Stupid weather.
And what's interesting about this flight specifically is how they plan to recover the first stage. Now, SpaceX has been experimenting with relighting that first stage of the rocket that falls off as it is over the ocean and controlling its descent into the water. Mm-hmm. For this resupply mission, they are going to have an unmanned robotic barge at a landing location in the ocean, and the plan is to have that first stage land precisely on that barge.
Is there going to be a target on it, like a bullseye?
Well, it has a giant X of SpaceX with circles around it, so there's an X marks the spot. It's about 300 feet by 100 feet, or 150 by 300 feet.
It's like a football field.
Yeah. And they have some advanced station-keeping, like water thrusters underneath it to keep it within the same, 15 feet range. Apparently, it's using technology that oil rigs use to keep stable.
Cool.
So
I like that
hopefully,
idea of water thrusters.
Yes. So hopefully the landing happens without a hitch, because this would be a huge success for reusability.
Oh yeah, and being able to land on a platform. I mean, I'm assuming that if they could get it to work right, they wouldn't have to do the whole recovery mission that we had to do with Orion, right? Because you have to send a boat out there. No, it just lands on the boat. It's already recovered.
Yeah,
just
done.
Go. Yeah, done.
And then you can tell the barge to go wherever you want.
Yeah, just send it back to Hawaii or wherever it's going. That seems like a pretty cool idea. I can't wait. The future is exciting. Sending things to Europa, to the moon, back to Earth, to Atlantis. It's all very exciting stuff. Please show us how much you like this stuff by commenting below. Tell us what your favorite bit of news was today. You can also like this video, or you can like this video. You can also subscribe right below our beautiful faces.
You can also watch older videos over here to my side.
Older space news. Maybe you missed last week's space news. It was a good one. You should check it out. You can also check out old entertainment news, or maybe Brain Tank episode. Or let's talk about, I don't know what's over next to Kevin. It could be anything, but it's going to be one of our videos. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
We'll see you out there.